Hey, welcome to AT Insider. My name's Eleanor, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about dysgraphia. I'm going to be going over the basics of what it is, what causes it, how common it is, as well as going over the symptoms that are associated with dysgraphia, some of the comorbidities attached to dysgraphia, and much, much more. And along the way, I will be dispelling some very common myths and misunderstandings. Dysgraphia is categorized in the DSM-5 as a specific learning disorder with an impairment in written expression. And dysgraphia is just that. It's a neurodevelopmental condition that impacts one's ability to write. And that can look like a lot of different things to a lot of different people. That can look like an impairment with the physical action of writing that causes challenges in people's handwriting and the spacing between their letters and their words, as well as challenges associated with translating thoughts into written words on a page. Now, dysgraphia is surprisingly common. Roughly 5 to 20% of the population have dysgraphia, and the range in that number is so large because people with dysgraphia very frequently go either undiagnosed or misdiagnosed. Now, what causes dysgraphia? Well, researchers are still unsure because the process of writing utilizes so many parts of your brain at the same time. But there is a hereditary link in dysgraphia. If your parents or if other members of your family have dysgraphia, you are more likely to have dysgraphia yourself. All right, what are the symptoms associated with dysgraphia? Well, one symptom associated with dysgraphia, and the symptom that kind of has taken over the culture's understanding of dysgraphia, is challenges with handwriting. Now, while it is true that many people who have dysgraphia struggle with having poorly formed or misformed characters and challenges having their words and characters being evenly spaced on the page, resulting in having illegible handwriting, that is not the only symptom associated with dysgraphia. And many people with dysgraphia may have very good handwriting, but still have real struggles conveying their thoughts and opinions into a written format. And when we believe that everyone with dysgraphia must have bad handwriting, what that causes as a consequence is that many people will go undiagnosed because they don't portray that symptom of having bad handwriting. So, what are the other symptoms associated with dysgraphia that have nothing to do with handwriting? Well, one of them is having challenges with spelling. Another one being challenges with writing with speed. So someone may write very slowly because of their dysgraphia. Another challenge can be disorganization within one's writing, which can lead to a dysgraphic person's writing being very unclear because their thoughts and ideas aren't laid out in a format that is easily understandable. Another challenge is with note-taking. Because people with dysgraphia struggle with their writing, it is very hard usually for people with dysgraphia to listen to a lecture and write notes at the speed that is required to keep up with the content that is being expressed. One of the other symptoms associated with dysgraphia is challenges translating thoughts and opinions into a written format. And that can look very different to different people. But in general, what that means is that someone can have a very well thought out and eloquent set of ideas or opinions in their head, and they can even express those ideas, thoughts, and opinions verbally, but they can't then translate that into written work. And that can be a large problem for people in today's day and age, because both in school and out of school, people are frequently judged on their intelligence and their mastery of content, not on their verbal expression of their thoughts and ideas, but in their written expression of their thoughts and ideas. Another symptom of dysgraphia is work avoidance. And I want to address this symptom with a lot of clarity, let's say. So if you are a teacher or you are a parent of a dysgraphic student, please listen up when I say this. Your student is not lazy. Your student is not unmotivated. Your student desperately wants to do their written assignments. But if they don't have the proper assistive technology and accommodations that allow them to express their thoughts and ideas in a written format, they will simply avoid doing the work. Because if you don't have dysgraphia, this may be hard to imagine. It is unimaginably challenging that one can have a brilliant, eloquent idea that they just can't express in a written format. And so the ego hit that one takes every time they know they have something brilliant to say, but they just can't say it. And so they can sit down for hours struggling to write something that their peers can do in minutes. They will simply go to avoiding that task. So please, again, listen to me. Your student is not lazy. They are not unmotivated. They are not unintelligent. They want to do their work. They have brilliant ideas that are just hiding behind their disability. So please give them the assistive technology and the accommodations that allow them to show you their knowledge. Before I jump into the comorbidities associated with dysgraphia, I want to go over one more very problematic myth. And that is the idea that people with dysgraphia have on average lower intelligence. And that is simply untrue. I've said it a million times about dyslexia. I will say it a million more times about dysgraphia. There is no link with intelligence and dysgraphia. If you have dysgraphia, you are no more or less intelligent than your peers who do not have dysgraphia. All you have is a challenge to express your ideas and thoughts in a written format. So, with that being said, let's jump into the comorbidities associated with dysgraphia. There are many comorbidities associated with dysgraphia, but the one I really want to touch on today is the association with dyslexia and dysgraphia. Now, there is roughly a 30 to 50% comorbidity rate between dyslexia and dysgraphia both ways, which means if one has dysgraphia, they have roughly a 30 to 50% chance of having dyslexia, and if one has dyslexia, they have roughly a 30 to 50% chance of having dysgraphia. Now, before I end this video, I want to say one last thing. If you have dysgraphia like I do, there are so many products, assistive technology tools, out there that can help you express your ideas in a written format. And I've just so happened to make a number of videos reviewing those products. So you're already on my channel, but you can go to all of the other videos I've made about a number of tools like speech to text that can enable you to show your thoughts in a written format. You can also go to my website, which will be the first link in the description below, and see a number of written reviews I've made for those very same products. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!